Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We are the 30 for 30 of independent artists and independent music, which means when you come here, you get not only the best interview, but you get an in-depth interview that shows you the depths of knowledge and soul our artists have. We are more than music. We are God's heritage, and that heritage is hip hop. So make sure you follow us on heritagehiphop.com, Heritage Hip Hop on all social media. Wherever you get this podcast, whether it's YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow. If it's on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, or whatever, make sure you give us a 5-star rating and tune in because great things are to come. And today I have someone who wanted to make sure he told the world a story that not only they can relate to, but they can learn from. Real MCs rap to you about your life, not just put words together. Please, MC, put your name out there so everybody knows who we talking to.
What's going on, man? I go by the name of D.Bridges, man. Find me on all social media at D.Bridges Music. You can email me at dbridgesnj@gmail.com. Hey, man, I'm all around, man. I ain't hard to find.
For everybody who's not new to Heritage Hip Hop, D.Bridges was on Heritage Hip Hop before with Stephen Xavier, but this time, after the Forgot About Dre album, now finally get him on here, but he releases what one person has told me is a classic album, No More Losses. Let's get into the creation of your style and why you rhyme the way you rhyme first. What made your pen develop the way it did?
I mean, I could say over the years, it took a lot of time for me to really develop myself as an artist to the point where I always felt like I wanted to sound like what was hot at the moment and not sound like myself. But then I finally got comfortable, with myself and, did a lot of maturing, a lot of growing up over the years. And that's what, drove me to doing the type of music that I'm doing now. Like, I always felt like if you don't have a story to tell in your music or have something to talk about in your music, you probably only gonna be hot for one summer and then nobody else gonna hear from you after that. So, I took my own advice and started doing that. And I always felt like, maybe something I went through or something that I've done, I could speak on it in my music and hopefully somebody else will learn from that and gain some type of knowledge from it, because that's what hip hop is all about, and that's what hip hop has done for me in my life.
See, the essence of a story is, people always say in school, you got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. A main character and a goal for the character to journey through so that the reader can relate to the subject matter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop is the ongoing story of a people's pain brought into reality through music, right? I was having a conversation earlier with someone and I said, pain is universal and love is relative. Do you agree with that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's nobody on this planet that could say they never felt pain, whether physically or mentally. It's nobody on this planet that can say that.
But when you rhyme, I can tell you use that past, but you have a love for penmanship because the lyrics that you create come from a love of expression. So how do you balance giving the pain, but yet give it in a way where you have joy in expressing it to the people who listen to you?
I mean, for one, music has always been, a passion of mine. It's always been a love of mine. So I use that as a way to say, you know what? Let me get my story out. Let me get my point across. But at the same time, even though it's a lot of pain in the music and all of that, I actually have fun when I'm recording this music. You know what I mean? I'm not in the studio with 100 people smoking and drinking and all of that. When I'm in the studio, it's just me, my engineer, and if I'm doing a feature with somebody, that person. I don't, I go in there focused, ready to work, but I do have a good time doing it because I got that type of relationship with my engineer, which is, shout out to Internal Quest, because I put him through hell a lot of times doing recording music and all that. So shout out, because he all make the process a lot easy. He knows me, he knows how I want it to sound, he knows what I'm looking for, and he's not a yes man. Just because he's an engineer, he's not gonna be like, okay, yeah, it's dope, let's keep it. He'll be like, yo, Now we got to re-record that, do it over. You know what I mean? So to answer your question though, it's like I get my point across in my music, but I also have fun doing it. And it's also, for me, it's also therapeutic in a way for me not to just, lash out. I just write it down and, play around with the words and figure it out until it's all sounding the way I need it to sound.
And that's what makes a masterpiece eloquent, because everybody, I said this in another interview, everybody loves to celebrate the man at the end of the journey when it's done, but people don't celebrate the man for the scars he's accumulated to make the story. And the scars and the scabs of manhood, especially in this country, is something that defines all of our art. We have basketball players who are told to shut up and dribble. We have people who sing who are told not to be socially conscious. We even have politicians who are straight out sellouts, like Larry Elder, who says that how people who own slaves need to be reimbursed because they lost their property. We have so much in this world that tells us to shut up and not talk, that hip hop is our therapy because it gave us the opportunity to express what's inside of us. What's the most meaningful message you gave the world through your music, you believe, to this point?
I probably would say the song on this album called Open Letter that I penned about my son. I probably would say that probably was one of the most important joints, and it touched more people because it was something that a lot of men could relate to. And even like when my son heard it, like my son's not a crying type of person and all of that, but when he heard it, I seen, a little bit of water running down his face. So for me, that probably was the most important song that I've done in a very, very long time.
Yeah, as a man, especially a man of color, your expression is the worst thing that's hidden from the world because it causes trauma. Nowadays, nowadays, you know what? America and black men are so traumatized that we have a lot of males who portray themselves as men that are really feminine as hell, and I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you laughing, but you know it's the truth. We got young men out here posting videos of them beating girls up. You see what I'm saying? We have videos. It's a popular thing in other countries for drug dealers to murder women on camera. I don't know if you know that. We have emo rap, and shout out to everybody who uses rap to deal with their trauma. But you got a lot of people who want to be Rod Wave and they just want to cry and they sing their lyrics, which is not hip hop. Anybody still cut the bullshit. But
I actually like Rod Wave though.
No, he's not corny. Yeah, he's not corny. But that's not hip hop music. Yeah. That's a derivative of soul music. So because he dresses like he's from the hood, it's supposed to be hip hop? Nah, we ain't doing that shit. But we will respect his art because he is an artist. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, going through that trauma is hip hop was born through trauma, and hip hop has also saved lives. How has hip hop saved you from being another traumatic kid that did not have his time to express himself?
I would say it saved me by giving me that outlet to express myself. Because I honestly, if I didn't have music as an outlet to really talk, to really vent, and just get out how I'm feeling without having to be judged and with people just actually enjoying what I'm saying to them, I probably have been to knock somebody's head off by now or something, man.
And we all know his love for martial arts, ladies and gentlemen. This guy right here, he's a martial arts aficionado.
It's in the blood, man. My father is one of the highest ranked martial artists in this state. My son is about to be a first-degree black belt. My daughter is a yellow belt going into orange belt. My other daughter ain't old enough yet, but once she old enough, she in there too.
So part of hip hop is knowing a technique and style, just like fighting. If you could compare your style, what fighting style are you, and how do you attack and defend on the microphone?
Fighting style, doing these damn questions, man. I would have to say, as far as fighting style, I would probably compare it to Mike Tyson, because he don't dance around the ring. He get in the ring, get right in the middle, go right at you and do what he got to do, fight over. And I kind of do my music the same way. I get in, do what I got to do, say what I got to say, then it's over.
It's interesting you pick Mike Tyson, because I don't see you as a Mike Tyson. I see you as a Marvin Haggard. I see you as a puncher that endures the pain and gives it right back. I didn't really see Mike endure too much pain. I see Mike as an enforcer brawler. I mean, the funniest fight I've ever heard of Mike Tyson was the one with him, Big Pun, and Fat Joe was chasing the security guards from the tunnel around cars trying to beat him up. That's hilarious. Mike Tyson is the best, my favorite fighter ever, so salute.
I never heard that story before, man. I gotta look that one up.
I'll send it to you. You know yeah. But one thing I appreciate about your style is it gives a puncher's chance, just like fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my favorite sports is boxing, period. You know what I'm saying? And until you box, you don't know how hard it is. Because 3 minutes in the ring feels like a half hour anywhere else. It's very taxing. So breath control, stamina, defense, movement, and delivery. It's a science. It's called the sweet science. Hip hop is a sweet science because it's the mind, the expression, the breath control, even the orchestrated pattern of beats and how you match it. You are one of my favorite MCs I heard from Jersey for the simple fact that your beats complement your voice, but your voice attacks the beat. So how do you pick your music?
Honestly, I pick the music based off of my mood. Like, I don't even listen to a beat and sit down and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna write. This is what I'm gonna write about on this beat. I'll listen to it. If it's a beat that I hear and the shit just hit me off gate, like, oh, this some shit right here. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna sit down and just lock in and write it right then and there on the spot. But there's some beats that I sit on them and listen to them for probably like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then be like, okay, it finally hit me. Like, I do a lot of my brainstorming to beats in the car when I'm driving. Because when I'm in the house, I don't really have the luxury to just sit down and really focus, because there's, a lot of distractions in the house and all that. So when I'm in the car by myself, listening to beats, it's like therapeutic to me. So I just go ahead and zone out, and that's how I, pick what I'm gonna do to these beats is when I'm driving. That's when I get most of my ideas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to D.Bridges, who has a new album out, No More Losses, which is available out right now on all streaming media. I ask that you purchase it because it's not something that you should listen to in passing. I think this is the album that you should sit with. So we're just going to get into the album No More Losses right now. One of my favorite songs on there is Roses. Can you tell me about the mood that the beat for Roses put you in and why you chose that subject matter?
It just put me in the mood of, like, I feel like as an artist, I feel like, and this is no disrespect to nobody from Jersey, but I feel like I'm better than a lot of motherfuckers that think they the shit. And I feel like Roses was the song for me to let y'all know, like, yo, it's certain artists out here that's up there right now that I have done a lot of shit for, or that have came and learned some shit from you, or reached out to me like, yo, big bro, how you boom, boom, this and that. So it's like, that was my way of letting y'all know, like, look, motherfucker, give me my roses while I can smell them. I don't want nobody after it's all said and done. Yo, that dude was nice as hell on the mic. He was one of my favorites, this and that. Nah, tell me that shit now while I'm here. But
in passing, though, I realized that people give a lot of backhanded compliments instead of giving roses. Like he alright, he just got, they don't want to tell you nice. They want to always let you know that they're on your heels, or they want to compete with you. But the biggest competition an MC has is not with another MC or rapper. Well, I hate the word rapper now, or artist. It's going to be with his own pen. What's the toughest battle you had on this project that you had to write about?
the toughest battle that I had to write about was damn. Man, the song I got the video for, the one about my grandmother, man, I can't even think it, that's too dear to me. I can't even really it's called Eyes on Me, but that's probably the hardest song that I've written in a while. It took me a long time to even get in the mood to really write that.
You closed the album out with that song.
Yeah, even recording it was kind of like, it took me through a ball of emotions recording it, because that was like, my grandmother was my mother, my best friend, my doctor, my therapist, one of my biggest fans and supporters. Like, she was everything to me. So that was, for me, it took me a few years to even get the courage to write that.
Yeah, you have a lot of songs that bleed the heart and open the mind on this project. Like, I really love your project. Like, this is one of the best albums I heard so far this year. And no, that's not letting y'all know anything about the Heritage Hip Hop Awards either, but you got to watch for that one. But this album was definitely something that's landmarkish for me. Open Letter 2 you talked about already, and Roses was great. It's too easy for me to go to my song. You know what my song is. We're not going to go there. Let's talk about County Jail, featuring Dot Bundini, Big Stomp, and Chops the Savior. What's the camaraderie between Jersey MCs, and how do we continue making songs like that?
I feel like, man, I keep it 100 with you. That song right there, it was supposed to have been a couple more people on there, but timing just wasn't the right time. But I felt like with the core that was on it, it was perfect. Like, everybody's verses complemented each other. And I honestly, all those guys on that song is guys that I hold to a high standard of being lyrical, or being one of the nicest dudes that I personally could say I've heard. Like, even like Big Stomp, I've known Big Stomp my whole life, and the first time we ever really did a song together. Dot Bundini and Chops, I worked with them dudes before, but like I said, it's just those are some of the guys that I have a mutual level of respect for as MCs. And my bro Wu Sun, you're not gonna never hear a project from me and he's not gonna be nowhere on it. So
I'm gonna keep it real. You got a very high compliment off of that song. All of y'all did.
Wow.
Because a compliment that I talk to people about y'all music. I share the shit out of it, even though y'all don't think I do. But I share the shit out y'all music, and somebody asked me, like, yo, is this a crew? Like, are they gonna do an EP together or something? And I was like, whoa, you asking, that's a very good question. Guess what? I don't know. But then as I directed them to y'all music, this well-known entity actually told me, the only thing that's gonna hold y'all back is y'all, because y'all have what it takes to bring perspective to the music. Why do you think today's music doesn't have perspective to it?
I think honestly, because anything goes now. Like anything goes, and the smallest little gimmick could make a person a millionaire overnight.
So no soul in the culture.
Yeah, I feel like hip hop has gotten away from the messages in the music, the storytelling. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still artists out there that's putting that kind of music out. Like, I was just listening to a project today that dropped today from an artist that I honestly have not listened to within like the last 5 or 6 years, which is the kid Stally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dropped the album with Apollo Brown today, and I listened to it, and I'm like, yo, this shit fire. Like, I didn't skip a song yet, and I'm probably at the end by now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's artists like him that's dope, that's fire, but would never get the mainstream success because of how the industry is now.
Yeah, I mean, I talked with you earlier, and I'm gonna put everybody in our business right now. I believe that the best MCs are not heard because people can't use them and take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to As God Intended, right? Shay Noir is she compliments you very well. Because
she's the animal.
y'all have the knack of dropping a person into the emotion of the story, not just the story.
Yeah.
Because she has a story about growing up without a father and how she has tortured men because she has daddy issues. You made a song, Logan's Interlude, which talks about a father figure for you, who with him not being next to you now, you recount the past and know that the value of what it is to have somebody in your corner. Why is it important to have music made like that, in your opinion?
I mean, it's important because, again, it's something that if Tom can't relate to it, Alex probably could relate to it. Tom might not understand it because Tom never been through it, but Alex might be like, yo, I've been through a situation like this. I didn't have my biological father in my life, but I do have my stepfather in my life who took on that responsibility and never turned his back on me no matter what. I mean, so again, like I said in the beginning, I always try to, give it some feel, give it some life, give people something that they can learn from, as well as enjoy listening to. And like, I would say the perfect example of that for me would be like Tupac's album, Me Against the World. To me, that's probably one of the most perfect rap albums ever made, in my personal opinion, because of how a lot of those songs was a bunch of different emotions, and there was a bunch of different things going on that I'm listening to, like, yo, I'm learning from this. You know what I mean? Like, especially like Dear Mama, when he talked about what he went through with his mother being on drugs and all of that. I went through that, so I was able to relate to it, and it let me know, like, yo, I'm not the only kid in the world going through this. You know what I mean? So it kind of, music like that helps me get through. You muted your microphone. You muted right now.
Shout out to reality, because reality is more than real. It's the consequences of life live by choice. You know what I'm saying? And today's life's consequences now is the reality is we find ourselves and our people more expendable than ever before. What do you feel about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial? And how does that influence your pen as well?
I mean, I ain't even really, even thinking about using that man as no punchlines or none of that, because I don't even want to give him no type of free promotion, publicity, none of that, because
no doubt.
All I'm gonna say is when they dismissed the gun charge, I already knew where this was headed. So it's like, I ain't really got too much to say about it. I just know the system ain't for us. Like, he got off of that, but then you got my man that was in the NFL on death row right now, even though they just granted him, to not get executed, but he's in there and he's probably innocent.
He was innocent. It's been proven.
I never really researched the whole story on that, but from what I know, that man is innocent, and you got him on death row. He was about to die this week.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. But then you got this guy who blatantly did it.
Well,
he got off.
Let's bring it back to music, because your album touches on all this stuff, and I really want to show people that you're not just gonna pick up an album that's just about somebody rapping. You're talking to a gentleman who is very knowledgeable of not only his craft but the world in which he's telling you about. What about how young Dolph got killed? What do you think about the background story of that? Is that not wild to you?
That I honestly, I never listened to him. I don't know too much about dude, but my condolences go out to his family, because from what a lot of people are saying about him, they all saying like, yo, he was a good dude, did a lot for the community, he was a great father to his kids. So for me to see that and like, yo, like we got to do better as people, man.
How about this? What if it really wasn't the people who got him killed? What if it was the industry that got him killed?
It's possible, because from what I'm seeing is every artist that's on that one particular label has gotten killed.
And the owner had a life insurance policy out on all of them.
Yeah.
See, and that's something I've talked about, is that there's things going on where people getting killed too blatantly, and who's benefiting from it. Because even if he didn't have the life policy, dead rappers seem to sell better than living rappers. So people are recouping their money one way or the other.
Yeah. One thing I did see that was kind of funny to me. It was funny, but it was coincidental too that Tupac, Mo 3, King Von, and Young Dolph, they all had the same ring on, and all got killed with that same ring on. I don't know if you've seen that come across your timeline, but it was the ring with the star. They all had that ring. So amazing. You know, it was just funny to me because I'm like, yo, wow, that's really a coincidence.
Amazing. Well, we're not conspiracy theorists, ladies and gentlemen. We just state the facts, and the fact is that D.Bridges has one hell of a great album, and I want you to really take the time to check this out. He released a classic single. I mean, he knows what the single is. I don't really got to get into it, but he released a classic single that was nominated for the Heritage Hip Hop Award for Song of the Year, Blessed. What made Blessed happen? And shout out to Choice on the hook too.
Yeah, I honestly didn't do nothing with that beat until Choice did the hook to it. I mean, it just was one of them things. We actually was sitting in the store, you know, working on some shirts, working on clothes, you know, that's what we do. And I told him, like, yo, I got this joint. I'm like, yo, it's real soulful. I'm like, yo, I need you on this. Like, I'm like, yo, I know you got to get out of this shop one day, and we gotta go lock in and get this done. So when I played it for him right then and there on the spot, he was humming the hook. Then he wrote it down in like 2 seconds. I said, yo, record that, send me a voice note. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna write my verses, and that was that. Then, you know, I booked the session. We locked in a couple days later, and that was it. Like, I honestly didn't think that was gonna be, you know, the one that everybody liked. I really didn't think that at all when we first did it.
Do you know the history of that beat that y'all spit on? Are you kidding me? What? Yo, everybody out there who hasn't heard Blessed, no more losses on all streaming platforms. Go buy it today. Blessed. You could go to heritagehiphop.com. I believe the awards page is still up. You could go stream it off our awards page, but I asked you to buy the project. Listen, bro, when I heard that, of course, it took me to Mob Style, but it also took me to the original joint. You used it, Mob Style used it, Raekwon and Ghostface used it. Every time that beat was used, it was a classic endeavor. You know what I'm saying? That song is amazing. I was so hoping you put a video out and you put some money behind that and work that song, because that song, man, yo. I mean, oh man, I don't know. That's a classic. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a classic.
Hey, yo, listen, man, I definitely appreciate it, because I remember when as soon as I dropped it, you called me. You called me on some late night shit, and I'm like, yo, why is this guy calling me this late at night, man? I got to get up in like 3 hours. But I definitely appreciated that. I said, yo, this is a real dude right here, man. It's not too many people out there like that. And I also, you know, I want to give you your roses too, because a lot of people don't know what you do for hip hop, not just Jersey, but hip hop in general. Like, a lot of people don't know what you do. A lot of artists out here don't know how much you support them and how much you ride with them. So for me, I want to say thank you for all of that, man, and give you your roses while you still here.
May the most I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. You know what I mean? Thank you. But one thing I will say is, you're not the average artist, because you're an artist that with the right backing, you would be a superstar in this game. I know it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I just gotta be bluntly honest. Watch this, everybody. Did you listen to the Art of Story Rounds Part 1 playlist? Yeah, exactly. So the reason why I asked you is because the Art of Story Rounds playlist, which is exclusive to all members of heritagehiphop.com, make sure you subscribe. Membership is free to the website, by the way, everybody. So if you want to hear the playlist.
Hey, but I did share it though. I did share it.
You're one of the few independent artists I put on the project.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine that shit. Nah.
Wow.
But yes, because Brenda's got a baby too. That one is special. So what I did was I put Brenda's Got a Baby on there. For everybody doesn't know the song, classic Tupac song about a young lady who had a baby who society didn't care for. Ultimately, it's a sad story in the end. But the baby survived. And this gentleman right here made a song from the baby's perspective of being abandoned by a mother and how the baby understands life from it. You got so much fucking love from that damn song on that playlist. It fit perfectly.
Wow.
I'll purposely put your song this way. I'll put Brenda's Got a Baby Part 1, Love is Blind by Eve, D.Bridges, Brenda's Got a Baby Part 2.
Wow, that's kind of an ill setup right there.
Yeah, so go listen to them side of the playlist. Let me know how you like it. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta go. Hey, but look, you not the first. You the second person this week that got on me about like, yo, did you listen to the playlist I put you on? You the second person this week, so I definitely gotta tighten up on that.
It's all good because I mean, you know, you on Heritage Hip Hop playlist number 9, as a matter of fact. So I mean, the people want you to hear the playlist, not only because it's promotion, but they want to show you how much they appreciate you. So yeah. I'm gonna ask you a question. What's the point of giving somebody a rose if you're not gonna smell it? Or put it in your house for decoration? So people are celebrating you and they want to know if you're receiving the things. Because there's a big lie in New Jersey that people say Jersey don't support Jersey. That's a big fucking lie. Because there's a lot of support. We just gotta open ourselves up to the support. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people always like this, but until you open your hands, you can't receive your blessings. But everybody's on the defensive all the time. You know, and one of the biggest blessings that you've given us is this album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is there anything else that I missed that you want to talk about with this album?
Not really. I mean, you pretty much, you know, you like the grand wizard of these interviews, man. I don't be knowing what they expect when I'm dealing with you.
All right, so let's go around the way with it then. Razcast is on this album, which is one of my favorite MCs of all time, to be real with you, because Nature of the Threat solidified him as one of the best to me ever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have songs with people from the industry, and not only do you hold your own, you don't get overshadowed. What is the challenge that you put yourself up against when you have known, credible mainstream MCs on songs with you?
I mean, for me, it's I honestly, I'm a naturally competitive person. So even like if I do a song with somebody, my goal is to, I'm not gonna say my goal is to just shit on them, but my goal is to, if I know that, like, again, if I do a song with somebody, I have to have a level of respect for their craft and what they do. And so for me doing a song with somebody who I lyrically respect, it influences me and it pushes me to be great. You know what I mean? So that's my way of, you know, flexing and showing like, yeah, I can get out here and bang with the best of them.
That's why I really want you to take your album, send it to Chez Noir, and y'all get a project, a song together or something, because y'all are special. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm talking from a fan's point of view. I know we already know that it's business behind it and everything. I'm just fanning out right now, and listening to As God Intended and then listening to No More Losses back to back, I haven't got that excited for two people that worked together since Redman and Lord Finesse did a freestyle together. And that freestyle was, I was like, yes, we need a song together. But of course, you know, everybody on these shit, so we probably never get it, you know what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, this comes to the end of the first part of our interview. Please give everybody social media so they know where to get the album, where to contact you, etc.
Again, you can find me on all social media at D.Bridges Music. It's D, the word bridge with an S at the end, music. Link is in my bio. It's on all streaming platforms, Tidal, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use, it's on there. So just, you know, go get it, man. It's good music. I ain't saying it because it's my project, but it's some good music on there. Something that everybody can gain something from. Even though I'm talking a lot of shit, I even got some vulnerable shit for the ladies on there too. So, you know, it's some good music for everybody, man.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen,
I got
sorry.
another project probably dropping the end of this year too.
Man, y'all moving too fast. Y'all dropping too much music and not supporting yourselves, man.
Nah, man, listen, man, I got that Day One's album with my brother Rusan probably dropping the end of this year. So
That's dope.
definitely be on the lookout for that too. We got a couple of singles out right now. We got the actual song Day One's, that single is floating around right now on all platforms. From the bottom is floating around on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Next single about to drop within the next week or two is me and him. Got a joint called Everywhere featuring the homeboy Corrupt from the Dog Pound.
That's off camera questions for that one. I ain't even touching that one on this one. No. We're not gonna touch that one on this one. All right.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the first part of the interview. Now we go to the rapid fire questions. These are not yes, no questions. These are questions that tell you about the depth, knowledge, and understanding of the artist that we're talking to on himself, his culture, and the craft that he has. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
I got new questions for you because you did this already. So before we go into that, give a shout out to the Brotherhood and let everybody know about the Brotherhood and your clothing line.
So the Brotherhood is pretty much, it's a group of us, right? We all got our own individual brands, but we all rock together and help push each other's brands. Like, so for example, every Wednesday we do what's called We Reppin' Wednesday, where we all wear one person's brand, take pictures, post it, tell people to go to their page, support them, show some love. Like even right now, I got my own clothing line and all that, but as you can see, I'm wearing somebody else's brand right now. You know what I mean? So shout out to the homie Fa Familiar for the dope ass sweatshirt. Took him 2 years to get it for me, but shout him out. But you know, the Brotherhood is just pretty much, it's a bunch of brothers under one umbrella. You know what I mean? And we even got a few females a part of it too. So just because it's called Brotherhood, don't mean women can't be a part of it, because we welcome everybody. Just gotta be willing to put in the work and grind with us. But yes, salute to them dudes too, man, because without them, they definitely hold me down. You know what I mean? So I want to thank them. Salute to them. Salute to the homies up at H Squad Rebel Radio, because they part of the Brotherhood too. And you know, that's pretty much what we're about, man. We're about just pushing each other, pushing black businesses, trying to generate more revenue for each other. It's no, you know, it ain't like no one man above the crew, none of that. We all equals.
All right. So with that being said, let's jump into the rapid fire questions. Question number 1. You did Smoke in the City 2 recently. I'm listening. I mean, you know, I want to hear what was your take on it, and salute to your competition, Joby Life. That's my man too. So how was Smoke in the City 2, and what did the experience teach you about yourself and your catalog?
I mean, the experience taught me that I ain't to be fucked with. And I say that as humbly as I possibly can, because I tend to owe this guy with music from 4 to 7 years old. Okay. I mean, I know in his brain, he thinks he won, but from what the reaction in the room was, it was bad for him. He didn't, like, and I'm gonna be real with you, I was a little disappointed, because as an artist, I expected more from him. You know what I mean? Like, I expected him to come out swinging, and I'm like, yo, this nigga swinging, I gotta jab back, I gotta bob weave, I gotta do something with him. You know what I mean? I had that much respect for him that I thought he was gonna really bring it, and he didn't.
Okay, so that was not a versus. For everybody who doesn't know, Smoke in the City is a 10-song verse and hook competition where we're celebrating the catalogs of artists, not just who wins or who loses, because there's no voting at the end. All right. So versus that corny shit y'all see on Triller and all that. This is a celebration. Why are you laughing, bro? I'm just saying. From the experience, you being served a platter of MCs, who would you like to challenge next on the Versus platform?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The one person I felt like would have been a dope ass competitor for me would have been Doc Bondini.
That would be interesting.
I think that's one of the people that would have made it a dope ass event.
Hey Dot, what's up? But nah, we ain't gonna do nothing crazy. But Doc Bondini should be celebrated as one of the best.
Yeah, nah, he's a like, and you know, I told him this before, yo. It's a song he did that I keep in my rotation on a regular basis.
Is it Suicide Letter?
Nah, that joint, Dirty Little Nigga from North.
That's another.
That's
he got
my
some
shit, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs. And that's including mainstream records. Like, that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, Doc Bondini.
I've told him that on numerous, and I'm from Irvington, and that song is Dirty Little Nigga from North. But I'm like, yo, I ain't denying no good music.
Let's take it back to Essex County hip hop wars.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the famous hip hop battle between Irvington High and damn, who was it? Used to come down Springfield Avenue. Shit. Who was y'all rivals when y'all used to battle in hip hop? Irvington High.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. When I was in Irvington,
you wasn't in that? You wasn't in that at all?
I was doing some other shit. I was rapping, but I wasn't rapping. I was wilding.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cause it's a real famous story that goes with Irvington High throughout the years. Irvington High in Orange, Irvington High in Central. Huh? You remember that?
I never heard of it. What years you talking about?
This was 2006, maybe 2000.
Oh, I was gone.
You gone with it? Okay. So what years?
I was in North Carolina battling Brez Rothstein around that time. I was out.
Okay. So I'll pull that question back because I gotta do some more history.
Yeah, you got to get one of the youngins in on that one. I was on my way out of college in 2006.
So your era was you went to Irvington High. You was around the Decepts and Haitians era, 90s.
Nah, 98 to 02.
Yeah, well, that's after you then. Okay.
98, 99 was my freshman year.
Okay.
Oh no, that's why when I said I was rapping, but I wasn't rapping, man, I had a lot of days fighting Haitians, man. A lot.
Yeah. Shout out to our Haitian family though. We love them. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask you this then. Let's come up off of that era and let's go to this era. Jersey hip hop is signified by two eras only, the 90s and the now, and there's a big blob in the middle. What do you think? What do you think is the blobs? No, I'm not going to call it the blob, but that lost era. What do you think is the responsibility of MCs that was dope in that lost era to the new generation of artists listening now?
See, I mean, and this is what gets me, because a lot of people feel like, you know, a lot of people blame Tretch, a lot of people blame Redman for not putting Jersey on. But at the same time, it's like, yo, them guys are artists. They are not labels. Mm-hmm. They are artists. The most they could probably do for you is put it in the right hands of somebody or do a feature with you on the strength, just on some love, and hopefully, you know, it'll help gain you some buzz. But a lot of people, you know, give them a lot of flack about not putting Jersey on. But like I said, they're not labels. They are artists themselves. So I felt like a lot of artists in between those gaps was depending on people like them to get on. When you can't depend on them to get on because they still artists themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, those are two of the best fucking lyricists I ever heard in my life. And not saying it because they from Jersey, but both them niggas is is ill.
What I will say is, for everybody out there who was just going to go off what he said, I heard an executive from New York say, we don't come to New Jersey for artists. So why would I come to where you are when I have millions of artists in my backyard? I'm not going to deal with you and your state's politics, because Jersey's economy is backwards and different than the New York economy. So there are a lot of reasons why people in Jersey are broke artists. It's not genuinely always their fault. It's kind of the fault of the people who are the gatekeepers of the rest of the opening of the doors to other opportunities. So I want to put that out there because I love Redman and Trench, and we ain't going to put nothing negative about them out there.
Nah, hell nah.
Period.
And again, like, and see, me being an artist, I know a lot of the shit that Tretch do for, you know, underground artists and unsigned artists. Like, he has helped a lot of artists try to get on and try to get in the game. Redman the same way, but we can't fault those guys if your music just didn't make the cut. Like, we can't fault them for that.
Right. Next question. You remind me more of an East Coast artist that could destroy a West Coast beat. Is that your style?
Man, listen. Our first rap album I ever owned was Straight Outta Compton.
Did you hear our DJ Yella interview?
I actually, when I seen it, I went and looked for it, but you didn't post it yet.
Oh, you went to YouTube?
Yeah, I didn't see it up there. And so, you know, that's the first album I ever owned, Straight Outta Compton. Second rap album I ever owned was The Chronic. Third was Doggy Style. So that's just what I got NWA tattooed right here. So, you know, I listen to a lot of West Coast hip hop. Honestly, I didn't listen to East Coast hip hop until Wu-Tang came out. And then I had to go backwards and catch up from what I missed.
Okay. Well, I think it would be an honor and a treat to hear you do something on Dr. Dre instrumentals. I would love to hear you on some of even the beats that The Game has rapped on.
Yeah, The Game actually one of those artists that I feel like picks great production.
Yeah. After hearing, even hearing Mount Westmore, did you hear that song, Big Subwoofer?
Yeah.
I think you would have killed that beat. That's your style. I think the thing that makes D.Bridges win when it comes to music is that you can't be pigeonholed on a coast. You are a universal artist, and I want to give you that respect. So my question to you is, if you had a chance to pick the perfect beat, what beat would have been your first beat if that person never came out with it and it would have been your first single?
Oh, man. Oh, damn. It's a few of them. But it's a few of them. One of my favorites though, honestly, is as far as production wise, it's the what's the name of that shit, man? The Kool G Rap and Mobb Deep song. For young guns living with their lives on the line. That beat right there is one of them beats that every time I hear it, I say, yo, I'm about to go right to this. That and Verbal Intercourse.
Verbal Intercourse? Okay.
Verbal Intercourse is one of my favorite instrumentals of all time. It's one of my favorite songs, period. But it was just, I don't know what was going through. I don't know what kind of weed RZA was smoking when he made that beat, but...
All right, well, check this out. I have my own way I listen to music and how I hear people's voices. I could give you mine if you want it. Who are three producers you would love to work with?
Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know this. I always wanted to work with Daz from the Dog Pound. Daz, Dre, and probably Pete Rock.
I think you should contact Pete Rock for a beat. Why not? Let's do that. Daz and them, I don't know the connections, but I know you can get to Pete Rock if you really want him. Daz probably too. What's up? You know who I always want to hear you rock.
I feel like, and you know what it is? I feel like as a producer, I feel like Daz is underrated as a producer because he's produced a lot and has ghost produced some joints too.
Yeah, the Chronic. I know. I know. No disrespect to Dre, but I know the stories that went behind that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, Death Row used to have a studio in East Orange. So I got a lot of them stories too. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's new to me. I never knew they had a studio in East Orange.
What? Oh yeah, one of their top producers lives in there, East Orange to this day.
Oh wow, yeah, that's new to me.
Well, a producer I would love to hear you rock with is 38 Special. I think y'all too.
That's my guy right there.
You talked about Coogee Rap. That song he had with Coogee Rap, that reminds me of you too. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just hear
that whole album.
Yeah, it's classic. Yeah. That's great stuff. Let's do about 3 more questions. You know, I didn't really want to go too hard on this one because this was more of an album celebratory interview rather than a get to know the artist type thing. Because anybody who doesn't know D.Bridges, please do y'all homework. He has great music out on Bandcamp, Spotify, everywhere you can go find it. Just do your homework. But this album right here, No More Losses, I take it as the penultimate. You got the Infinity Gauntlet on. You fucking you making people disappear. People thought they had good music and they heard it and they just put the albums away. You know what I'm saying? I love this project. I really do. And we gonna
hey yo man, and I really appreciate that, man. Definitely.
We're gonna close out with a bang. And here we go. 24 Hours Apiece. Jadakiss came out. Jadakiss dropped the freestyle from the verses. He did Mighty D Block and Roz Baraka got on there and did some chin-ups. If Jadakiss asked D.Bridges to get on stage, what would D.Bridges have done to show Jada, when you in Jersey, respect these Jersey MCs?
I honestly, I probably would have did the same shit the way I did it at the end of the Smoke in the City battle.
Okay.
Now, I mean, see, you wasn't there to witness it, so, I mean, what I did was, I pulled one of Jada moves. I told DJ, yo, play that lyrical exercise instrumental. And I gave Joe B. Life about 80-something bars. And then ended it off a cappella. Like, it was crazy because I ran out of the beat. I out-rapped the beat, so when the beat stopped, I just went a cappella and, you know, took shots at him and everybody in his team, picked them all off one by one.
Okay.
So, you know, sometimes you just gotta flex your muscle and show your lyrical ability and what you're capable of doing. And I feel like, you know, something like that would have definitely grabbed Jada's attention because he probably would have looked at me like, yo, I don't know who the fuck this nigga is, but he just did some amazing shit.
All right. Second to last question is this. We all know you love heritage hip hop, so I ain't gonna ask you the heritage hip hop question. I'm gonna ask you this question. Grand Theft Auto just came back out. And what it did was rehash the story of West Coast hip hop. If you could put your music in a video game, what game would it be and what story would you want that game to tell?
If I could, in that particular video game or just anything, video game?
Anything you want.
Damn. That's a good question because I really don't play video games.
Really?
I haven't played a video game in years. Probably 8-9 years.
That's cool.
So that one right there, you got me stumped on that one.
I would love to hear your music in Fight Night. Ladies and gentlemen, Fight Night 2 has been announced by EA Sports. So everybody who wanted a boxing game, it's coming. And I would love to hear your music. I can imagine somebody getting their ass knocked out and Bless came on. It would be so classic. I would love it.
Especially when he say, I can't feel the pain no more.
I would love that. Yes, I would love it. And you know what? The reason why I picked a game like that, a sports game, if you remember the fantastic story of Jay Electronica. Anybody who doesn't believe me, you do the homework. Jay Electronica's song broke Fight Night. Fight Night was already good, but that song, Exhibit A?
Exhibit A.
That broke Fight Night, that people bought the game just for that song because they couldn't find the single. And they had to do the paperwork for the greatest hits. Listen, people heard Exhibit A on Fight Night. It's like, yo, what the hell is that? And they kept going to the menu screen. I remember my friends came over to my house to play Fight Night. I told them I had it, and they heard Exhibit A, and they paused my game, and these assholes listened to that song for 30 minutes straight.
Wow.
I think some of your music, not just that one song, has the potential to have impact like that on somebody's ear, that they will stop what they're doing to focus on your craft. So that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? This is my last question. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching heritagehiphop.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything is coming out. Follow us on Spotify, Anchor FM, iTunes, Apple Podcasts to stream the podcast as well. We're not only visual, we're audio, so you can take us anywhere you want. You want merch, go to heritagehiphop.com. Click on Heritage Hip Hop Apparel. We have new things coming very soon. Just waiting for the logos to be finalized, and we're going to have some great things. Make sure you check out D.Bridges, support the Brotherhood. Where's the store at?
555 Clinton Avenue, North New Jersey, right next to King's Restaurant.
And if you can't get there, hit him on social media and get one of his great designs. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all about D.Bridges. I said this the last interview I did. It's a little part of my language. It's a fly nigga right here. He likes to dress. You know what I'm saying? He likes to dress. Nah, for real. Like, yo, one thing I'm gonna give you credit for, I'm not a dresser. You know what I'm saying? I'm just whatever.
Yeah.
You do your thing, and I appreciate that. Because at the end of the day,
man.
At the end of the day, if you really, really went hard on the suit game, I think you would kill it the same way. Suit and shoes, I think it'll be.
Yeah, man. I'm a little bit older. I actually done bought 2 pair of shoes this week, so it's coming.
Blue and cream, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
He gonna get
like it's dripping like it's marble cake.
That's it right there. And with that, we're gonna go to the last question because we're gonna put some style on it. And this is my question. You do story rap.
Mm-hmm.
You do pain music. But when it comes to hip hop, we only get the same type of stories. Drugs, death, murder, and sex. Power and BMF is like the same shit. And Power has 80 books and they all do the same shit. So my question is this: if D.Bridges could write a movie with his music, what would be the story and what would the audience get from it?
I don't know, man. See, a lot of people don't know. I joke around a whole lot, man. I joke a lot. Like, I play all day, every day, to the point sometimes people get annoyed with me and pissed off. So, honestly, if I was to write a movie, it'd probably be, something, not something too serious. It'd probably be something, something laughable, something comical, man. Because I like to joke around, man. I enjoy myself when I'm out, when I'm around people, man. I just like to, have a good time, man. Crack jokes all day. Like, for example, when we in the shop with each other on Clinton Ave, if the average person walked in there and heard how we speak to each other, they'd be like, yo, you ain't shoot this nigga yet? Or he ain't shoot you yet? But that's just how we play. Like, we joke around all day. Like, you'll probably hear, yo, I beat you the fuck up 50 times between all of us within an hour. You'll probably hear one of us say that to each other about 50 times before you leave that store. You know what I mean? But, listen, I like to have fun, man. I ain't get to this age by taking everything too serious. So if I had to write a movie, it'll probably definitely be some hood comical type shit, similar to like a Friday or a How High or something like that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just know that the depths of D.Bridges' skill is not only giving you one aspect of himself, he's multi-dimensional and multifaceted, which means he could put on many faces to give you the depth of conversation, the depth of art, and also the purity of hip-hop culture. Make sure you always find your true face and give the world your best. Have fun, even though it's a serious world. Be serious, even though people are full of shit and they try to test your character. But always stand on your morals, because the one thing about the truth does not need you to believe in it, because the truth is what it is, and you will live by the truth one way or the other. He's the truth on the microphone. Make sure you get no more losses and get real music, because in the end, when you listen to real music, you become a real man, a real woman, and a real child of God, because you've elevated not only through your experiences, but the stories that people have told you to better your path as you travel along life's journey. With that being said, this is Forever Heritage Hip Hop with D.Bridges. No more losses out right now. And with that being said, buy it. We say peace, buy it, and we out. And buy it.
All right, man.